Good morning students. Today I am going to teach you the third chapter of history. The name of the chapter is Mahavira and Buddha, the great preachers. Before watching this video, open your notebooks and books also to note down the important points. In this chapter, first of all, we will clear what was happening in India, the religious revolution in 6th century BC. In this chapter we will talk about the 6th century BC. In 6th century BC, the religious revolution was found. What is the meaning of religious revolution? That is related to the religion. The revolution which was related to the religion means the revolution was found in the religious views. In the 6th century BC, the many teachers, thinkers and philosophers were found. The many, you have to underline, many religious teachers, thinkers and philosophers were found. And what they brought? They brought the religious revolution, means they brought the changes in the religions. Before 6th century BC, the Hinduism was there in India. We had done during the Vedic age, Hinduism was there, but now what happened in 6th century BC? Now the new religion started to came up. Why? Because the new ideas were given by the religious teachers and new religions were given by the religious thinkers, philosophers and the teachers. Not only in India but in other countries also the religious revolution was found. You can see Zoroaster, that was in Persia. This was the religion which came up in Persia, and Confucius, that was the religion which came up in China. So not only in India but in other countries the new religion started to came up. At the time in India, 62 religious groups were found. Underline it. 62 religious groups were found in India in the 6th century BC. In the 6th century BC in India, 62 religious groups were found, but the main groups which were found in India, main religious groups which were found in India, they were the Jainism and the Buddhism. They were found in the 6th century BC. Many people started to adopt Jainism and Buddhism. Now we will do why the Jainism and Buddhism became popular among the people. Why these two religions rise in India. First, the Aryan religion became difficult to understand. I told you in the second chapter the Aryan religion was there in India, but it became very difficult for Indians to understand. So that's why they want to the new religion. Second, animal sacrifice. We had done in the second chapter, the people performed yajnas, they also sacrificed the animals. So that's why the many people get against this religion. So they attracted towards the new religion. These were the Jainism and Buddhism. And third, costly rituals. The Aryans performed the rituals which were very costly. So the people didn't have enough money to perform these rituals. So that's why they also started to adopt Jainism and Buddhism. Next is magic, charms and spells became dominated. And the Aryans, they also believed in the magic, charms and spells. So that's why the many people started to leave this religion and they started to attract towards the Jainism and Buddhism. And the Sanskrit language of Vedas. the Vedas which were written in the Sanskrit language, and that language was very difficult for the common people to understand. Only the Brahmins can understand this language easily, but it was very difficult for the common people. So that's why the common people now started to adopt Jainism and Buddhism, because of the Sanskrit language, which was very difficult for them. And the caste system became very rigid. Rigid means it became very harsh in the Hinduism. They harshly started to follow the caste system. At the time, 4 castes were there: Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. The Shudras, the behavior with the Shudras was not good at that time, so that's why the Shudras started to adopt Jainism and Buddhism. So many reasons were there. Because of these reasons, the people started to adopt the Jainism and Buddhism. Now next is caste ridden, that is on page number 56 in the starting, that is given. Thus the caste ridden and the ritual ridden Aryan society was showing signs of decay. Decay means decline. Caste ridden means dominated by the caste. Ritual ridden means dominated by rituals. You can write on your book also. Decay means downfall. Degeneration means also downfall. Now the caste system became dominated and the rituals also became dominated in the Aryan society. Because of these two things, the Hinduism started to decline and social and religious degeneration had set up in society, and the social and religious changes started to came in the society. Now next is in the 6th century BC, what happened? The new class of wandering teachers came. Wandering teacher means religious teachers who wander from one place to another for what? To give their teachings. In the 6th century BC, the new class came up, that was the wandering teachers. They wander, they move from one place to another for what? To give their teachings to the others. And they believe in ahimsa or non-injury. What is the meaning of ahimsa? You have to underline. That is, the meaning of this word is non-injury to living things to attain salvation. Means we should not injury any living beings. Living things means human beings, animals, birds, plants. They believe in the ahimsa means non-injury to living things. For what? To attain salvation. They believe that if they want to get freedom from the cycle of life and death, then they should not injury any living things. So they believe in ahimsa. Ahimsa means, that is also I think in word meanings, its meaning is non-injury to living things. Why they believe in ahimsa? To get salvation, means to get freedom from the cycle of life and death. They believe that the man take birth after the death, and again man had to take birth, but they believe that they can attain salvation, they can take freedom from this cycle of life and birth. And the two wandering teachers which were found at the time, they were the Bardhaman Mahavira and Gautam Buddha. They were the two most important reformers of this time. You have to underline this on page number 56. I am going to show you on page number 56, the second paragraph, last line. Bardhamana, Mahavira and Gautam Buddha were the, you have to underline this, were the two most important reformers of the 6th century BC. The first religion which was found at the time, that was the Jainism. In the 6th century BC, the first religion which was found, that was Jainism. And who was the founder of Jainism? Bardhaman Mahavira was the founder of Jainism. You have to underline this. That is also on page number 56. Bardhaman Mahavira was the founder of Jainism, and there were 23 other religious leaders. In the Jainism, 23, in spite of Bardhamana Mahavira, 23 other religious leaders were also found, and they were called the Tirthankaras. And these 23 religious leaders in Jainism were known as Tirthankaras, and Mahavira was the 24th Tirthankara. He was the 24th Tirthankara who Mahavira. He was the 24th Tirthankara in the Jainism, and he was the last one. Means the Jainism was founded by the Lord Bardhaman Mahavira, and 23 religious leaders were found before the Mahavira, and these 24 religious leaders were known as Tirthankaras. There is a question also, who were the Tirthankaras? Tirthankaras were the 24 religious leaders of the Jainism. The 24th was Lord Mahavira. He was the last. And now we will do the life of Mahavira. Where he was born? He was born at Kundla Grama, that is near Vaishali in Bihar. Underline this on page number 56. Bardhamana Mahavira was born at Kundla Grama, that is near Vaishali in Bihar. You can prepare it as inside question also, where Lord Mahavira was born and when he was born. 540 BC. And what was the name of his father? His father name was Siddhartha, and he was the chief. Chief means he was the head of the Jatrika clan of Kshatriyas. I told you in the second chapter, at that time tribes were there, clans were there, and the head of the clan was king. Means Siddhartha was the chief. He was the main head of the Jatrika clan of the Kshatriyas. His mother name was Trishla. Underline this also. Trishla. She belonged to the powerful Lichvi tribe, and the name of his tribe was Lichvi. He was born at Kundalagrama near Vaishali in Bihar. His father name was Siddhartha, who was the chief. Underline this. That is also, I think, in fill in the blanks. His father was from the Jatrika clan of Kshatriyas. His mother was Trishla. She belonged to the Lichvi tribe. Now next is Kevala Janana. That was, its meaning is true knowledge. How Lord Mahavira attained the true knowledge. When he was at the age of 30, what he did, he left his palace because his father was king, so he was also the rich man. But what he did, when he was at 30, he left his palace for what? To search the truth. And to search the truth, what he did hard penance and meditation to attain true knowledge. But he did hard penance and meditation to attain true knowledge. Meditation and penance meaning is given in the word meanings. Meditation means to engage in religious contemplation. And the penance means volunteer self-punishment to atone for a sin. You can see here meanings of meditation and penance. And he left his home and started to do meditation. After 12 years, means at the age of 42, he attained the Kevala Jana, means he attained the true knowledge. After the meditation, he got the true knowledge, and he was also hailed as Jina. He was also known as a Jina, means conqueror of the self. Conqueror means the winner of self, who win himself. He left his home and he attained the true knowledge, means he win himself. That's why his followers are known as Jains. And he died at Pawa, that is in South Bihar, at the age of 72. That is in your book also on page number 56. You have to underline this, where Mahavira died in when he was died. He died in Pawa at the age of 72. The students clear Lord Mahavira. Now next is teachings of Mahavira. You can see his teachings were divided into two parts. Lord Mahavira's teachings were divided into two parts. First is 3 jewels and second is 5 bows. 3 jewels, what were the 3 jewels? He believed in right faith, right conduct and right knowledge. He believed that if we want to get freedom from the cycle of life and death, cycle of life and death means the people again take a birth after the death, and then again death is there, and then they again take the birth. He believed that if we want to take freedom from this cycle, we should believe in these 3 jewels. These are right faith, right conduct and right knowledge. And second part of his teachings was 5 vows. Vows means no to injury life, no to steal, no to injury life. We should not injury any life like birds, animals and human beings, and we should not steal, and we should not tell lie, and we should not have our own property, and not to lead an impure life, and our life should be pure. These were the 5 vows which were given by Lord Mahavira. So his teachings were divided into 2 parts. 3 jewels, right faith, right conduct, you have to learn this also, right knowledge, and second 5 vows, no to injury life, no to steal, no to tell lie, no to own property, and no to lead an impure life. That is also on page number 56. You have to do this. That is also in, I think, long question. Next is spread of Jainism, where the Jainism was spreaded. It was found in Rajasthan, Western India, Bengal and Central Asia. It was spread by the followers of Lord Mahavira in these states, and the many people became followers of Jainism. Many people adopted the Jainism, and after the death of Mahavira, number of Jain followers increased. When the Lord Mahavira died, and after his death, many people became the followers of Jainism, and the Jain art and literature also flourished. Flourish means the Jain art and literature also developed. Art means the buildings which were related to the Jainism. Literature means the books which were related to Jainism. So the books and the buildings also developed after the death of Lord Mahavira. The temples which are related to Jainism, these are the Dilwara temple. Underline this, that is on page number 57. You can see here, the picture is here. Dilwara temple, that is at Mount Abu, and the Palitana temple. These are the temples related to Jainism. That is in short question. Religious books. The religious books of Jainism were the Angas and the Purvas. You have to underline this. The religious books of the Jains are the Angas and the Purvas. But after the death of Mahavira, his followers were divided into two sects. They divided into two parts, Shvetambras and the Digambras. After the death of Lord Mahavira, the Jainism was divided into two parts. Shvetambras means they wear the white clothes, and Digambras, they did not wear the clothes at all. So Jainism was divided into two parts. That is important. Shvetambras means, Shvet means white. They wear the white clothes, and Digambras, they didn't wear the clothes. And Jainism, spread of Jainism clear. Where it spread in Rajasthan, Western Bengal, Western India, Bengal and Central Asia, and many people adopted this, and Jain art and literature also flourished. Next, the contribution of Jainism to Indian culture means what the Indian culture got from the Jainism. First is, with the Jainism, growth of vernacular means native languages, means the languages of different states or areas. With the Jainism, the native languages, the vernacular languages also developed. Which native language developed? Like Kannada and Gujarati. How these languages developed with the Jainism? Because they spread their teachings, they give their message in these vernacular languages. And second, art and architecture means with the Jainism, the art and architecture also developed. I hope the meaning of art and architecture is clear. Means art and architecture, the buildings which were the temples, buildings, the monuments which were related to the Jainism. During the 6th century BC, the many artist monuments which were found, like Mount Abu, that is important, that is the temple related to Jainism, that is in Rajasthan. Ellora caves, these are in Maharashtra. Udyagiri hills in Madhya Pradesh, these were the temples and the caves which were related to Jainism. These also developed with the Jainism. Humanitarian services means the services which were done for the welfare of the human beings. Like they also opened the schools, hospitals and inns were the places where the people took shelter, mostly the travelers. Students, Jainism is clear. That is on page number 58. You can see humanitarian service. And the rest we will complete in the next video. Thanks.